Okay, here we are with Helena Bonham Carter, who is having a double whammy of a holiday season with the Queen in the King's Speech, the Queen Elizabeth, who is really the mother of the current Queen Elizabeth, the consort, we would say, to King George VI, and also returning in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 as Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, I like the way you pronounce Lestrange. It is
the very strange Lestrange.
Yeah, she is very strange. She lives up to it. She lives up to her name.
You know, I thought, having seen the movie, that she's almost like a bride of Dracula.
I suppose so, the look.
Because when Voldemort is there, she's very submissive, almost like a cloistered nun, afraid to look up or at him, and very timid. And then when she's torturing people in her own little castle haunt, she's like the whirling dervish sadist or something.
Yeah, no, she has definitely two sides. She's pretty schizophrenic, Bellatrix. Definitely.
And when you do a part like that, do you put the same amount of work into doing somebody who is real, like this queen?
It's different kind of work. I mean, actually, I did both of them at the same time, so it was bizarre, because I did Bellatrix during the week, and then I did Queen Mother on the weekends. So talk about schizophrenia. No, my son actually said, like, are you doing the Witch or the Queen tomorrow? You know, and some people will say they're quite similar.
But this queen is anything but a witch.
People say she had a very strong side to her, you know, so she was wily. I mean, that Queen Mother lasted a hell of a long time, 101 years, and it wasn't done all on charm and, you know, sweetness. And she had a very different, she was an expert public figure. And I think she had a huge... Somebody described it as a marshmallow but made with a welding machine. Cecil Beaton. And I think there was a lot of truth to it. But it was that strength, that inner strength, that was so... that the husband drew upon. You know, Bertie wasn't born with any strength, really. And really not equipped to become king, let alone a war king. And let alone somebody who had to then make public speeches, you know, live because of the radio...
And the stammer.
And the stammer, so... It was all her strength and steel and determination and intelligence too that I think helped him hugely and made up for what he didn't have.
Do you think that's where our current Queen Elizabeth II gets her sort of sense of discipline and duty?
Absolutely. I think so. I think it was totally informed by the fact that her uncle, I think, betrayed his sense of duty in the eyes of the family. And that's where she gets her sense of duty and service to the country.
You actually met her, didn't you?
I met the Queen Mum, yeah. I met most of them. Queen Mum, I went to... she came to the premiere of A Room with a View.
Your second film.
Yeah, and funny enough, so then I read... You know, I'm reading as Bellatrix in my witch's outfit in the caravan, reading the William Shawcross biography, which goes on and on and on. You know, and she had a real... She went off to Florence once, a bit sort of... She had a little... You know, some holiday that she wanted to repeat, but she never got the chance to because, you know, her life took her other ways, like becoming queen. And so for her, now I see, going to Florence via A Room with a View, she probably did enjoy that film.
That the romanticism of this is a city that can change your life forever and open you up to what life can hold.
I think she had her own little, you know, youthful reawakening in Florence.
As a British subject, as a British national, Helena, what is the difference between aristocrats and everybody else? I mean, I always remember, didn't you have a grandfather who was prime minister?
I know, but he wasn't. This was something that really irritated my dad. He always said, "Oh, they make you into an aristocrat that you're not," you know, because he was prime minister, but he was actually from up north. You know, he was not working class, but he wasn't. You get a title if you become prime minister. You know,
okay.
It's a going home present. It's like, you know. If you were Prime Minister, you get a lordship on the way out. And so we weren't that posh. I mean, we're not aristocrats. I mean, the Bowes-Lyons, the Queen Mother, came from pure aristocracy. They'd even argue that they were bluer than the royal family.
Okay.
You know, of such pedigree. And look down somewhat on the royal family because the Windsors, they've all got corrupted blood somewhere in there. You know, with some...
Those Germanics.
Yes, the Germanics, exactly. But Bowes-Lyons were really pure. So,
well, they say in America, you know, the rich are different. Are the aristocrats different? When you go to play a queen, like this? I mean,
I think there's one thing that you have to do is you don't play it. You know, it's a bit like playing, you know, a sense of authority you just have. You don't play it and you don't assert it.
Okay.
I think the Queen Mum, but obviously everybody's different. It's like playing a stammerer. Everybody's stammer is going to be different. Every aristocrat's different. I played 2 queens in 1 year, but they're totally different. But they both had a sense of entitlement. I think the Queen Mother, although she wasn't born a queen, she always had a sense of her sense of class was pretty strong.
No.
So, but equally, she had the grace, she had the confidence to. She never asserted it. She would know that. I think she was somebody who played actually low status because the head was cocked, and she was like, and she seemed very sweet and submissive, and kind of played the archetypal Edwardian, you know, passive lady. But underneath, she ruled the roost. I mean,
but she wasn't. She ruled the roost.
She used that as a veil under which she could operate.
Now, we see in the film that the King Stammerer, he goes through several proper teachers and nothing works. Yeah. And it's really his wife who finds out this Lionel Logue, this eccentric Australian, when Australians were like worse than Cockney or something, and brings him really to somebody who can help him. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, totally true. No, she was the one who located him, and she was the one who wanted him to work with him because nothing else was working. I mean, it was an extreme situation, and it was a real crisis. And she obviously didn't. She was witnessing time again this her husband's you know, this disability. So no, it was her idea. She found him. Yeah, she was unexpected. The Queen. She seemed very overtly conservative, but underneath she was very. She was very much her own free spirit, I think.
And they're talking Oscar nomination for you for this movie, as well as for everyone else. You look like... Are you serious? You've been nominated before.
I've been nominated before. I really don't get it with me. I mean, I get the boys. I mean, the boys, Colin should get one, I think, this time around. It's his time, and Jeffrey should definitely get a nomination.
Best picture, best director, best screenplay.
Yeah.
Best costumes.
I think just on the coattails, I guess I get thrown in. You know, just like, oh well, you know, well she's, but you know what? It's so previous, and I think a lot of people it's a bit dangerous because people will probably get irritated because then they'll go see the film and say, well, that's not that good. You know, it's.
But isn't it a challenge though to play somebody who is a real woman?
Yeah. No, it is.
Not just a historical real woman, but she's not like Bellatrix. She doesn't, or she's not like the Red Queen. She's not this eccentric, over-the-top, flamboyant character.
Yeah, normal.
She's real.
Kind of in the realm of normality, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But,
to make her interesting.
Yes, no, it is. It actually was a challenge. It was a challenge not to make, because I read it and I said, well, I want to play George VI. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, that's the part. And then there's also, you know, Geoffrey's part. But they were taken. And then the Queen, Mother, you know, you had to really steer a careful course to make it interesting, because on the page, she was also... it just seemed like a typical supportive wife, you know, yawn, you know, where's the dress, but the only one. That was the eye candy, but kind of not even that great eye candy because she's kind of round and didn't really care about her figure that much. But wasn't blessed, I mean, God bless with all respect, she wasn't, you know, her nickname was the Fat Cake, so, so it was like, you know, so she wasn't, so I didn't have a burning desire to play her.
Was it Tom Hooper who convinced you?
No, Tom didn't really even, I mean, he just forced me. He's like, I said no. It was like Bertie proposed to Elizabeth 3 times. Finally she said yes. It was kind of like that in the film. I really kept on saying no because I was doing Harry Potter during the week. I had children. It just didn't make sense to, you know, spend my weekends dressed up as the Queen Mum. But it happened because if he gets, I mean, he's a rare force. If he decides on something, Tom, I called him Thomas the Tank Engine because it was also, there was no choice. I thought, my God, this man has determination. In the end, I did it, and I was totally what's the word, insured?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean...
They couldn't get insurance because you were already booked to do Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter didn't let me go, so they just said, well, on her head be it.
There's no end date for her work, so...
There was no end date, and they said if we need her, even on a weekend, you have to give it. So they just took the risk. It was very crazy, but anyway, I did it.